Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on TTI, aka as known as True Temperance International. We thank you for joining us this afternoon in the UK, or evening or morning, wherever you may be. My name is Charlene. I will be your host, and I have...
Hi, everyone. Hope you're all well. My name is Linda, and I'll be co-hosting with Charlene this afternoon, evening, morning, wherever you are.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you. So we have a few people on. So last week we had Pastor Sam Davis speak to us regarding asthma. And he had a challenge, and it was to do with detoxing the system. So I don't know who has taken on this challenge. So right now, for about 10 minutes or so, the floor is to our audience on how you got on with that specific challenge, whether you managed to do it, whether you managed to detox, you found someone to go somewhere to do the detox, or you probably did it at home and found something online. So it's over to our audience now of whether anyone's done a detox. And if you haven't done it for last week, maybe you've done it before, and let us know the benefits of how you felt. So the floor is open to you. Please let us know. Is it going to be quiet? Has anyone done a detox before? Anyone? No one's done a detox before. So what about those who was with us when we did the... Let me just... thank you. What about those who joined us and the lemon challenge? Because that's like a detox. I know some individuals who's taken the lemon and mucus will be coming out of them. They've had fever, all sorts, because the body's going through a cleanse. Even that's a detox. Anyone done the lemon? The lemons? Dear Linda.
Quite quiet.
It's very quiet this afternoon. And no one's done a detox before on our platform.
Shirley.
Hi, Paula.
Yeah, I still continue doing the lemon and the cayenne pepper and the turmeric. I do it every morning.
Oh, lovely. So how do you feel as you're continuing that? Because that was quite a while ago when Q and...
Yeah, but my nose become running when I do it. She might do it when I'm running a very clear mucus.
That's good. As long as it's clear, that's good.
Yeah.
Which is a good thing. So your body's releasing the mucus that's unwanted and within the system. So keep going, keep doing it. That's a good sign.
Thank you.
You're welcome. But thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, Lorna.
Yes, Lorna.
Hi.
Well, not just me, can anyone do the detox at night? Would it work in the same way? Last night? Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if someone was trying to say something. The detox at nighttime. Do you mean in terms of whether you take like a lemon and do the detox, or do you mean a juice, or what type of detox would it be?
A juice.
A juice.
Detox juice, yeah.
It's probably better in the morning. You can do it during the day, but it's probably good as well in the morning, because especially on when you're just waking up. But I'm not sure if anyone else can say anything regarding that nighttime, because I would personally say one thing, that it probably is all right to do it at nighttime.
Hi, Shirley, it's Lucy here from Manor House.
Hi, Lucy.
Yeah, I was just going to ask the person who asked, why does she want to do it at night? Is it because she works night duty?
No. It's because after having that in the morning, I tend to have breakfast and then sometimes lunch and then dinner. And I thought if I have my breakfast, maybe lunch, or lunch and dinner, say 3-4 o'clock, then my stomach, by the time nighttime, my stomach's more or less empty and I can get rid of all what I've had during the day.
So when TTI presented the challenge, what was the challenge?
Well, you know, well, it was whatever the detox was, it's first thing in the morning.
Okay, and so
yes,
if you're not working at night, the challenge is, and the reason why it's called a challenge, because it's going to challenge you, all right? And so really, if you're not working night duty, then do the challenge as it was set out.
In the
day. Absolutely. Follow the detox plan.
Yeah, this was just me because I've had so many hours between eating and bedtime. You know, I just thought, I don't know why, I don't know why I'm asking, but I just thought, I've got so many time on hand. So if I had do the detox, you know, say 4 or 5 hours after eating, I won't be tempted to eat after dinner. And that was the only reason I asked.
But you're not facing a challenge. It's just challenging you.
Yes. Yes, I understand. Okay.
Thank you, Lucy. Thank you, Lorna, for your question. I understand what your question and what you're trying to do. But as Lucy said, it's for the challenge, especially if you're eating the breakfast, lunch, and dinner already. Maybe the challenge would be not to eat anything or have anything, and maybe just water before you go to bed.
Okay.
There's also that gap as well of what time you're going to bed, of why you're feeling that hunger. Yeah, so it will be good to take on the challenge and do it more daytime, morning time, and then that'll be the challenge between dinner time and bedtime for you to go to sleep earlier to suppress that hunger.
Yes, thanks for that.
You're welcome. And that's, I think that's one of the challenges for today as well. What time will we go to bed? Again, so this is always a challenge for people. So yeah, I think this will be one of the challenges for this week.
Okay.
What can I ask about water therapy? You know, the hot and cold water therapy?
Hydrotherapy.
Hydrotherapy, yeah, for temperature. Can it work for headaches? You know, does it work for headaches?
Absolutely, yes, it does. It's a cold rag on the forehead, and you can put your feet in temperature that you can manage, hot water that you can manage, not too hot, especially if you're diabetic. Not too hot, but just manageable, and then cold rag on flannel, on the forehead.
Okay, thank you.
And that will bring the blood flow from the head down.
Okay.
Yeah, or you can do hot and cold as well. That's a good hydrotherapy in the shower.
I've done that before with hot towels and cold towels years ago on myself and my grandmother. And she had a high temperature and she wasn't well. And it was surprising. My daughter was so surprised how well it made her well after like 24 hours, if not, she was well again, which is amazing. And,
hydrotherapy is amazing. And maybe we did do that as one of the challenges as well. And contrast showers. Yeah. We had one of those as a challenge. But yeah, hydrotherapy is excellent.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
You're welcome. I don't know if anybody else would like to let us know if they've done the challenge, the detox. Maybe not last week, but maybe before.
What is in the detox? What do you put in it? Sorry, I missed it. It was probably, I should have been online, but and it was sudden Sabbath hours, I know, but somehow there's so many things on, I forget what time they're on sometimes.
It's it was a random detox. So it was to find someone that does detox programs. So it depends on that individual of what it would be. So some people do liver detox, kidney detox, full body detox. So it depends on which individual you went to.
Right.
Yeah, to just do a detox, clean out the system.
Yeah.
So that's what it was.
It's fasting good for that?
Fasting, yes,
It helps.
Go on, Linda, you go.
No, I was just saying, yes, fasting, Island. First, fasting does help, depending on the type of fast that you go on as well. It would assist, especially if you're doing the like a liquid fast, because at least you're not taking anything in, and the liquids actually help flush out any of the toxins. That usually helps as well. But you can, I think we were talking earlier even about the lemon water challenge that we had done some time ago. That also helps with the detoxing process in the body as well. So although we're not necessarily just limited to having to go to someone, if you have done a particular detox in the past, and you could just talk about how it has affected you, that would also be all right. I hope that helps, Lynn.
Yeah, thank you. Yes, thanks very much.
Thank you, Lynn.
Thanks.
Now, I don't know if anybody else would like to say something regarding the detox. Well, it depends on who you went to, or for last week's challenge, or in general from in the past. Please let us know. What I'll do, I'll just do 2 more minutes, and then we're going to have Joan come on to do part 2. So last time it was insomnia, I think it was. And then this one is the science of sleep. So we're going to look into the scientific views of sleep. So I've got two hands up. Did you want to say something, Lynn? Or was it you, Linda?
Oh, sorry, I was looking at just some of the comments that have been going through. Someone was writing about the importance of drinking water, about how it helps even prevent wind or gas if you're drinking water properly, and also about the fact that we should not at least have a meal at least 5 hours before going to bed. I think we have covered the correct and incorrect meal time and how we are supposed to drink our water as well in previous sessions. I just wanted to note that. Yes, we do have 2 other hands up. I see Ruth and Edgar. If we can go in that order, please.
Oh, hello, good afternoon. I just wanted to share, I haven't been with you for a few weeks because my dad's very unwell, but I was able to follow the advice about the orange juice with the turmeric and the cayenne pepper. And for myself, I've been doing a little bit of exercise, and my blood pressure's gone from 240 over 140 down to 133 over 77. And I just want to give God thanks for that. And I've been sharing.
That is absolutely wonderful. That is really wonderful.
That is really good. That was very high, and it's gone very low.
And I'm still working on it. I'm still working. I'm telling all my contacts, everybody.
Wow. That's amazing.
That is amazing. That is amazing. Thank you so much.
And that was over 6 days.
Over 6 days.
6 days.
Wow.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for that testimony. It really encourages and it also helps us to be able to just continue doing that work. And it might encourage someone else who probably gave up maybe on day 3 to just continue, and you'd actually see those results. Thank you so much for sharing that. Edgar, over to you.
Not quite Edgar, it's Sharon, but that's okay. I'm using Edgar's
Hey,
phone.
Sharon.
Ruth, fantastic. God be praised. I'm just so pleased for you.
Amen.
The
Amen.
natural remedies and trusting in God, you've got there, and it's a journey. It's one of those things that you keep on at, because the bad habits, it took time to well, whatever it was that caused the blood pressure. Those things can take time to build up, and then we always got to keep on it, okay, and keep trusting. So you'll do well. With regards to and that was a challenge we set a couple of weeks ago with hypertension. That was a different one with the hypertension kind of tonic. With regards to detoxes, I can think of 2 that brings back memories. One was the parasite cleanse. I know we've all, well, Charlene, you've had that one as well. We had that one with Jason Williams when he came over to do medical missionary training with us. I actually quite like that one. But the other one, which was also with Jason, was the cascara. And boy, exactly, I've seen your expression on your face. That really cleanse. And you got to be careful when you have that one. You don't want to be taking that one at night time, because the effect it's going to have on you, you will be up and down out of your bed. That one, you need somewhere to detox.
Yeah.
One way of putting it. But yeah, that was brilliant. Cascara, I can't remember what else was with it.
Psyllium husk and senna.
That's it, psyllium husk, senna. Oh wow, that worked.
Good bowel cleansers.
What is cascara? Sorry.
It's I have to look into it. I'll look into it and I'll let you know. Okay, I know it's definitely
herb.
A herb, yes, but I'll let you know. But it's very, 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 very bitter.
Okay.
Yeah, very bitter. But yes, I will find out and I will let you know.
Thank you.
I'll let you know in the chat, Lynn.
Okay. Thanks.
Is that what some of us call seriously?
Let me see.
No,
it's not seriously. No, no, it's got its own name. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I'm
What's
just
the
having a
spelling
look.
of cascara?
It's CAS. CARA.
Yeah.
Okay,
I was just going to ask that. Thank you.
Because you're welcome. Yeah, it's a dried bark. It's a shrub, it says.
It's a shrub.
Yeah, it's a shrub.
Okay.
Okay, so what I'll do, thank you, Sharon, for your testimony regarding the other 2 cleansers, detox cleansers that we have done, not with our TTI family, but yes, thank you, Sharon. So what I'll do now, I'm going to just do our disclaimer, what we do on every show. So I'm going to let Linda say the disclaimer, please. I'm not sure if Edgar has it ready. Edgar?
Yeah, I'll put it up.
Thank you.
Thank you, Edgar. All right, good afternoon again, everyone. We're just going to go through the disclaimer before we start with today's topic, the science of sleep. And our disclaimer is as follows. Only a physician can diagnose, treat, and prescribe for illness or disease. Any information disclosed or discussed at the TTI Zoom talk show is for educational and information purposes only. Please continue to seek professional medical advice from your general practitioner regarding any illness or disease that you may be suffering from. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Edgar. Okay, so we're going to have our part 2 of the science of sleep. So, Mama J, it's over to you.
Hello, everyone. Hi. Session. Can you hear me, Shirley?
It went funny, but it's okay, I think.
Good. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, I think.
Yes, we can.
Welcome to the TTI session. Yes, I'm here sitting in the car because it's the only way I can get signal to speak to you all. Thank you for going over the detox challenge and the testimonies. And I particularly love the testimony from the lady who took the remedies and her blood pressure has reduced somewhat. So that's wonderful. Thank God for his remedies. So today I'm here to do insomnia part 2, or the science of sleep. The science of sleep is what we're going to go into. I want to thank TTI for putting on these programs. This morning, Shirley and I were presenting on another platform, and it was lovely to hear some of the ladies talk about a lot of what they've learned from the TTI session. So keep up the good work, TTI. So I'm waiting for someone to allow me to share my screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through some slides. In particular, what I want to do is to play a 4-minute clip. And this 4-minute clip is going to kind of set the backdrop for the presentation today. So if I have a shared screen, I am now going to do it for you. The science of sleep. So like I said, I'm going to show you a 4-minute clip just to set the backdrop. I want you to kind of understand, going back to insomnia, I want you to try and understand the science behind sleep and why it's so important. And if I didn't convince you in part 1, I'm pretty sure you're going to be convinced today how sleep is so very, very important for all of us. Just remember that sleep is like air is to the lungs when it comes to our bodies. That is what I want you to think about. So this clip that I'm going to play, please listen attentively.
This is Shattered. There are 3 things you need to know about this show. 1, over the next week, 10 people are going to go without sleep. 2, there's £100,000 at stake. And 3, nobody knows whether this can be done or what will happen. To Shattered, a game like no other. Here at Tobacco Dock in East London, 10 people will compete all week to win up to £100,000 sleep for 8 days and 7 nights. The game has already begun. They're all in a lab behind me in the middle of 39 hours. There they are now. Now, from now until next Saturday, you can watch a week of grueling challenges that will get happening them later. And every night this week, one of them will be eliminated in a live challenge that will test them to the very limits of their brain's endurance. Quite simply, they'll be shattered. And on Saturday, only one of them can claim the prize of up to £100,000 and be crowned Britain's ultimate endurance champion. But there's a catch. In order for anyone to walk away with the money, they must work as a team, because every time someone shuts their eyes for more than 10 seconds, they lose £1,000 from the prize fund. So, what exactly is sleep? Do we get enough of it? What does it do? We spend a third of our lives doing it, and the rest of the time moaning we don't get enough of it. So, what's it all about? Here's everything you ever needed to know about sleep in 2 minutes, 58 seconds. It is the 21st century obsession, lack of sleep, and we are all sufferers. The faster we live, the less sleep we get. Our bodies are simply not designed for a 24-hour lifestyle. We work the longest hours in Europe, but on average, we only get 7 hours of sleep a night. This is a simple fact.
Getting to becoming a more 24/7 society. I think most of us are suffering effects of sleep deprivation, whether it's through email, through mobiles, through less sleep because we've got to get somewhere, at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I think we are all experiencing sleep deprivation in some way.
We know sleep is crucially important for many reasons, for both physical and mental health. We learn during the night. You can do a test just before bed and show no learning. And when you wake up, you're actually better at the test than when you went to sleep. So if you're trying to learn a new skill, get a good night's sleep. Some of the most famous accidents in the last 20 years, Chernobyl, Exxon Valdez, 3 Mile Island, the Challenger Space Shuttle, they all had elements of sleepiness. They all happened between about 1 and 3 o'clock in the morning, when the body has its strongest need for sleep. I mean, closer to home, the Selby rail crash is an example of what the 24/7 society can cause. Here's a guy spent the night on the phone, on the internet, driving along at 5 o'clock in the morning. It only takes 3 seconds at 60 miles an hour, if you nod off, for your car to come off the road. We now know from statistics that more people die on the road because of sleepiness than because of alcohol.
Sleep isn't an optional extra, it's absolutely fundamentally required for mental and physical well-being.
After a while, the body will get sleep. It will cause you to sleep. So sleep will get you in the end.
Right. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. Yes.
Sleep deprivation is nowadays a source of light entertainment, but it has been used as a real instrument of torture around the world. Hallucinations, paranoia, disorientation, these are some of the symptoms of sleepiness endured by the contestants on Channel 4's reality TV show Shattered that I've just shown you. The 10 participants are starving themselves of sleep for a week in the hope of winning £100,000. The channel has vigorously denied claims that it is exploiting its contestants and has safeguarded their welfare by using ethics and medical advisors. But on leaving the show, contestant Craig North said it was like torture being deprived of sleep. It's not every day you try to spend 180 hours without any sleep. Sleep deprivation is not like torture. It is a form of torture, a tactic favored by KGB and the Japanese in prisoner of war camps in World War II. Let's go on. So going without sleep is intensely stressful. So now you're going to hear the account of someone who was tortured with sleep deprivation. And his name is John Shatterbergsky, consultant psychotherapist to the Medical Foundation for Victims of Torture. He himself was tortured through sleep deprivation, in his case in apartheid South Africa in the 1960s. So he was quite bemused by this program in which people are deprived of sleep, which is like treating them with medication that will make them psychotic. And it also demeans, it's saying it demeans those people who have actually gone through real life torture experience of being deprived of sleep. I should also add that this program called Shattered took place in 2004. And it's interesting that they've never made a program like that again. Why is that? Because it had detrimental effects on the contestants. So why sleep deprivation is torture? A recently released report by the US Senate Select Committee on Intelligence focused on the CIA's detention and interrogation program following the 9/11 terrorist attacks. According to the report, among the enhanced interrogation techniques which was used in this program was sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation involved keeping detainees awake for up to 180 hours, which is like 7.5 days, usually standing or in stress positions, at time with their hands shackled above their heads. At least 5 detainees experienced disturbing hallucinations during prolonged sleep deprivation, and in at least 2 of those cases, the CIA nonetheless continued the sleep deprivation. When you're hallucinating, you have episodes of psychosis. You start to see the sea when there is no sea, when you look through an open window. You start to see people that aren't there. And this is what happens when you suffer sleep deprivation. Sleep deprivation has even been used in torture against Christians in the East. And would you believe it, that some abusive partners will actually use sleep deprivation as a way to abuse their partner, their husband or their wife. Some abusers punish survivors for falling asleep, then for making mistakes when they're exhausted. Domestic violence survivors often find they have trouble sleeping, and for obvious reasons, being abused and controlled by one's partner hardly equates to a restful night's sleep. But when an abuser goes out of their way to make sleep impossible for a survivor, not allowing a survivor to go to bed, punishing them with violence for falling asleep or waking them up at all hours of the night to inflict abuse, that's something else entirely. Sleep deprivation is a sinister type of abuse, one that can cause serious short and long-term effects on a survivor's health. Listen to this. Forcibly depriving a person of sleep is a profound assault on the entire biological system at the foundation of that person's mind and body. You may want to know why I took you through these steps. You may know why I showed you that video. What I wanted to show you is how sleep deprivation is being used, and abusers know this. Sleep is so vitally important to the health and well-being of someone, even their mind and their body. So the question is, not getting enough sleep, you are actually torturing yourself. You are actually torturing yourself. So let's look closer. Let's look closer at this. What actually stops us from sleeping? Let's have a think about this. I know that we put a challenge on when I did the first insomnia presentation, and there was a challenge, and I'm not sure how many people succeeded in that challenge, which was to sleep at least 7 to 8 hours a night. And I'm not sure how many people managed to do that following that presentation, but I am hoping and praying that after today's presentation, you will see sleep as medicine. So let's look at what stops us. Some of the common causes: overeating. So you're probably overeating, eating far too much food, and your body has to work far much harder to process the food. There may be indigestion. Maybe you're eating late at night just before retiring. It's always ideal not to eat a big meal before you are retiring, before you are going to bed. Make your last meal your lightest, and at least 3 to 4 hours before you go to sleep. Some people may say 5 hours. But if you are someone who is trying to transition from eating 3 meals a day to 2 meals a day, and your last meal per se was around lunchtime, around about 2-3 o'clock. If you have to have something, make sure it is light. A fruit is always recommended simply because it takes seconds, just maybe a couple of minutes or two to digest. Stress. How many of us are stressed these days, especially with what has been happening around the world? Tension, you're always tense. You're worrying about something. You have fear of something that to lose my job. Do I have enough money in the bank to pay the bills? You know, all these things, all these fears that you may have. How is this pandemic going to affect my family, my children? Now, cold feet. Cold feet. I don't know how many of you can sleep if your feet are cold. I certainly can't. And it's always recommended to try to keep your feet warm, which feeds into poor circulation. When you go to bed, try to wear socks, especially if you have poor circulation, because then it will keep the circulation going around your body. The blood doesn't have to rush to the cold extremities, such as your feet, to try to warm it up. So it's always best to wear, they call it sleep socks. Wear something on your feet. Nervousness, you have a nervous disposition. Maybe you've got poor ventilation in the bedroom. And you know, and it's always best, as we've said before in the 8 laws of health, try to keep a window and try not to sleep in a room that is too warm. So a constant loss of sleep, whatever the cause, is always, it doesn't say sometimes, it doesn't say once in a while, it says a constant loss of sleep, whatever the cause, is always injurious to health. I know that there are some of you maybe out there who are suffering from sleep disorders. Sleep disorders are a group of conditions that affect the ability to sleep well on a regular basis. So whether they are caused by a health problem or by too much stress, sleep disorders are becoming increasingly common. Let's look at some of those. So insomnia, we talked about insomnia in the first presentation, which refers to the inability to fall asleep or to remain asleep. It can be caused by jet lag, stress and anxiety, hormone issues, or digestive problems. It may also be a symptom of another condition. Then you have something called sleep apnea, which is characterized by pauses in breathing during sleep. This is a serious medical condition that causes the body to take in less oxygen. It can also cause you to wake up during the night. Then you have parasomnias, which is a class of sleep disorders that cause abnormal movements and behaviors during sleep. They include sleepwalking, sleep talking, groaning, nightmares, bedwetting, teeth grinding, or jaw clenching. Then you have something called restless leg syndrome, which is an overwhelming need to move the legs. And this urge is sometimes accompanied by a tingling sensation in the legs. While these symptoms can occur during the day, they are most prevalent at night. And then you have narcolepsy, which is characterized by sleep attacks that occur while awake. And this means that you will suddenly feel extremely tired and fall asleep without warning. Let's look at technology. We touched on this during the insomnia presentation. So how does technology affect sleep? Our bodies run on a circadian rhythm, which is a biological process that takes place over a 24-hour period and controls when we feel awake and when we feel sleepy. So circadian rhythm is based primarily on the rise and fall of the sun. Did you hear that? It is based on the rise and fall of the sun. So a part of our brain called the suprachiasmatic nucleus uses environmental cues such as light to know when it is time to initiate sleep. So the suprachiasmatic nucleus is very sensitive to even small changes in our environments. Electronic devices such as cell phones, tablets, readers, and computers emit blue light. Blue light has a short wavelength that is known to interfere with our circadian rhythm by delaying the production of melatonin in the evening. Melatonin is a hormone that is responsible for making us feel sleepy. An interruption in the release of melatonin can lead to insomnia and poor sleep. And it's ironic that today we're doing a presentation on the science of sleep. And today, particularly in the UK and across Europe, we are going to spring forward. We are going to put our clocks back tonight 1 hour. What does this mean for our circadian rhythm? It means we are putting our circadian rhythm an hour ahead. We have more light in the nights, more light in the evenings. So sometimes all 10 o'clock at night, it might still be bright outside. It doesn't do us very well. And where this came from, the actual daylight saving time is what they call it, is it was introduced in World War I, and it was introduced simply because they wanted to save on fuel. And that is why they decided to put the clocks 1 hour forward. And then the rest of Europe followed, and they put their clocks 1 hour forward. But it might be interesting to know that in the United States, there are actually states within America, provinces within America, they have refused to put their clocks 1 hour forward because they don't see the need for it. And also doctors and scientists are backing up the claim, and this is actually on Google, you can Google it, they're backing up the claim that putting our body clock or 1 hour forward or changing the time difference to 1 hour ahead actually has an effect on the body's circadian rhythm. Let's look at our children. How do electronics affect our children? So research suggests that children are particularly vulnerable to the negative effects of blue light. As we age, our eyes become less sensitive to light, which means that the impacts of blue light are more severe in children. Blue light suppresses melatonin production in children by nearly twice as much when compared with adults. So use of screen-based technology by children before bed is associated with falling asleep later and getting less sleep overall. So lack of quality sleep can affect academic performance and behavior in our children. So if you look at your own children who are older, you have teenagers, are they having problems with quality sleep? Are they looking at their blue devices for far too long, far too late into the sleeping hours when they should be asleep? So insufficient sleep may also influence a child's endocrine system, very important, which is responsible for proper physical development. Additionally, blue light exposure may affect vision. What about our muscles and our recovery? So it's important, an essential component to muscle growth and recovery. So during sleep, crucial muscle building growth hormone is secreted. This hormone production typically happens during deep sleep, also known as stage 3 of the non-rapid eye movement sleep. Also during sleep, your muscles relax. This relaxation allows your muscles to be relieved of tension and can reduce pain. So without sufficient sleep, listen to this, the production of growth hormones is impaired. You may find your muscles are still tense or sore in the morning. Long-term lack of sleep can even lead to the development of chronic pain. Oh, I've got a pain in my neck. I've got pain in my shoulders. You know, I don't feel as if I've slept very well. I've got pain in my back. Did you go into that actual deep sleep? Sleep improves muscle coordination. So here's a little case study here. So because sleep helps consolidate memory, it's essential for memorizing a play on the court or choreography or for the stage, but sleep can sharpen your skills in other ways. So you may have increased accuracy. In a study of university tennis players, athletes increased their sleep to at least 9 hours each day. So their serves improved incredibly from 35.7% accuracy to 41.8% accuracy. You may have faster reaction times and speeds. male and female university swimmers who increased their sleep to 10 hours nightly saw positive results. They dived off the block faster and improved their turn times. The athletes also improved their 15-meter swim times. What about improved overall performance? University men's basketball players who slept 10 hours a night during the season found many areas of improvement. Their half court and full court sprints were faster. Their free throw percentages increased by at least 9%. Sleepiness and fatigue decreased, and overall mental and physical health improved. Some of you may remember when one of the top managers in the Premiership, his football team, he was beside himself, very, very upset because, football players will be at the pubs and the clubs into the wee hours of the morning, and then they think that they can perform on the pitch, and of course their performance dips. Sleep preventing illness. As you sleep, your body produces cytokines, which are molecules that help the body's immune system fight infections. If you're already sick, sleep can help you to recover. On the other hand, a lack of sleep increases the production of pro-inflammatory cytokines, and these molecules impair the function of the immune system. This puts you at a higher risk of getting sick. So sleep deprivation can also make preventative health measures less effective. Has anyone gone through microsleep? Have you ever had that moment where you had that kick of the leg incident? You're sitting in a meeting back in the olden days when we attended church, and you may be sitting in the pew and you're listening to a lengthy sermon, and all of a sudden you start to nod off without realizing it, or you're in a business meeting, or you are in a meeting at work, wherever you may be, and you find yourself just falling asleep for a few seconds. If you've experienced microsleep, microsleep is a short involuntary episode of sleep. The most common symptoms of a microsleep episode are the head nodding, the drooping eyes, the slow closing of the eyes. Microsleeps last from 1 to 15 seconds. Episodes can occur when performing a task that demands constant focus and attention, such as driving. We were never meant as human beings to be sitting in a car and driving for hours and hours, just looking at the road ahead, driving and driving. This is why they encourage us to go to the side if you feel tired. Don't drive if you're tired, because our brain cannot cope with all of this speed around us. So be careful if you are suffering from microsleep or you are sleep deprived. So what are the causes? The major underlying cause of microsleep is sleep deprivation or a lack of sleep. Insufficient sleep is common in the United States, common in the United Kingdom, also across the world, I should say. More than 1/3 of adults report getting less than the recommended 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. However, we don't all respond to sleep loss in the same way. If you're someone who always gets plenty of high quality sleep, you're more likely to have a microsleep episode after just one night of poor sleep than someone who regularly experiences insufficient sleep. Now, the US Army prioritizes sleep for soldiers. Are we making it a priority, people out there? The US Army are. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise. Now that's 3 of the 8 laws of health, is it not? Rest, nutrition, exercise. They're calling it the 3 pillars of good health in the Army's performance triad, a major public health campaign to support the well-being and readiness of soldiers. The first of its kind, the performance triad, gives soldiers research-based information and tools to take care of their health and achieve high performance levels. The Army is taking the research on sleep's role in physical and mental health, strength, and performance. Do you see the next word? Seriously. Are we taking it seriously? Soldiers are versed in the merits of good sleep and how it affects them. Let's move on. So the Army has adopted 7 to 8 hours in a 24-hour period as their sleep recommendation, but many soldiers get only 6 hours of sleep or less. So sleep loss impairs their decision-making, judgment, ability to assess threats, and coordinate tactics. So to establish a healthy foundation of sleep before, during, and after deployment, the Army recommends soldiers adopt good sleep practices, such as setting target bedtimes and backing up by 30 to 60 minutes to start a bedtime routine, which means if you know you want to fall asleep at 9 o'clock in the night, you make sure you start thinking about it at 8 o'clock and prep yourself. So by 8:30, hopefully you're ready to fall asleep at 9 o'clock. Making the bedroom sleep friendly, cool, dark, and quiet. Creating an appealing bedtime routine. Not drinking caffeine before bed, going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, retiring the electronics before bed, you know, the blue light devices, using earplugs or white noise to block sounds and a sleep mask or blackout curtains or shakes to block out the light. So listen to this one. Sleep is increasingly seen as a core component of health. The Army is adopting the latest science and clinical wisdom around sleep, calling it a what? A secret weapon. So the Army, the US Army, calls sleep a secret weapon. What are we calling it? What are we calling it? Are we seeing it as a nuisance? Are we seeing sleep as something we should push to the back burner or something? Or are we also going to see sleep as a secret weapon in our lives? So some of you may find that napping is beneficial. So naps boost alertness and improve motor performance, which is why you feel energized after taking one. The length of your nap determines the benefit. A 20-minute snooze, called a stage 2 nap, is ideal to enhance motor skills and attention, while an hour to 90 minutes of napping brings rapid eye movement sleep, which helps make new connections in the brain and can aid in solving creative problems. Set an alarm to make sure you get just the right amount of sleep. Napping for a length of time between 20 and 90 minutes may also help, but you're likely to feel groggy afterwards, so not too long. Regular short naps can help lower tension, which decreases your risk of heart disease. Get the most health benefits out of your nap by doing it right. Stick to a regular napping schedule during optimal hours, which are between 1 p.m. and 3 p.m. And this time frame is optimal since that's usually after lunchtime when your blood sugar and energy start to dip. Keep shut eye short and nap in a dark room so that you'll fall asleep faster. Scientists have found that students, adults in particular, who are students, the best time to train them or to teach them is between the hours of 9 and 2 p.m. because that's when they are at their most alert. So, think you can learn to survive on less than 6 hours of sleep a night? Think again. Adults typically need between 7 and 9 hours of sleep a night to function at their best. Between healthcare productivity, insufficient sleep in the US, and I should say the UK, rings in at an annual cost of about $66 billion. When you're awake, there is a chemical called adenosine, which builds up in your blood. And when you sleep, your body breaks it down. Try to cut back on sleep, and adenosine builds up in your bloodstream, making you more and more desperate to fall asleep. Your reaction time slows down, which makes you more prone to dangerous mistakes when driving. A shortage of sleep is to blame for some 100,000 traffic accidents, 76,000 injuries, and 1,500 deaths a year. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I know that when you have looked at the old time movies, did you know that they did research on rocking? They took a number of some young people, a handful of adults, and they put some on a stationary bed and they put some to sleep on a rocking bed. What they found was the ones on a stationary bed took longer to sleep, but then eventually fell asleep. But what they found with the ones who was on a rocking bed, they found that they fell asleep quicker and they went into a more deeper sleep. So rocking improves sleep. Sleeping on a rocking surface improves sleep quality and memory consolidation by synchronizing certain oscillations in the brain, according to a study published today, which is January the 24th, 2019. The findings add to existing evidence that rocking is beneficial for human sleep and provide insights into the neural mechanisms underlying the phenomenon. Do you remember when back in the day, for those of us who might remember, there were prams, and when you push them, they're gently rocking the baby to sleep. When you want to put your baby to sleep, what do you do with them? You do this. You're rocking them, aren't you? So some of the devices that you find with your babies, you're rocking them. But also, people used to sit on a rocking chair, probably on their verandas, and they'd be rocking backward and forward, just gently rocking backward and forward. And if you can invest in a rocking chair or something that rocks, if you're suffering from sleep deprivation, if you're someone who has difficulty falling asleep, because what they found in this study, the insomniacs benefited from the rocking. They even did it with mice. So if you are an insomniac, if you are someone that has great difficulty in sleeping, try to see if you can benefit from a rocking chair, as this study proved, and try to see if you can gently rock yourself. Maybe it's time to invest in a rocking chair. I don't know. This looks very similar to what Errol and I had when we lived in America years and years ago. We had a rocking chair, and it is so soothing. Something to think about. So let's look at some of the remedial approaches to sleeping, to sleep deprivation. A full warm bath or a hot foot bath taken with a cup of hot tea will often bring sleep immediately. If yourself is very tired, nervous and worn out, a fomentation, which is hydrotherapy, it's a hot hydrotherapy application to the spine, to the liver and to the stomach will help produce sleep. I have to say that when we have worked on health guests at Manor House, and even when I have worked on clients with fomentation. So fomentation may take the form of a very wet towel that is steamed in hot water, and you dry it. When you place these on the spine, the liver and stomach, or you may use a heat lamp, I have found 99.9% of the time that they fall asleep. It has a tremendous effect on the body. You just want to sleep. Why? Because your blood is circulating nicely, it's circulating gently. You feel the warmth and the heat of that fomentation or the heat lamp, especially on the spine, especially on the liver and stomach. Without fail, I have to tell you, that person is falling asleep. Even if they didn't want to, they're falling asleep. That is the effect it has. The extremities, as I said before, the extremities should be kept warm, and a hot water bottle or electric heating pad should be used if necessary. The extremities, your hands, try not to have cold hands. Try not to have cold feet. Some people are put to sleep by having their hair brushed, or sometimes by having their feet gently rubbed. I remember there was one of my friends about that. One of my friends who her father was having difficulty falling asleep. He wasn't well, and he was having difficulty falling asleep. And what I did, I suggested that I would go and massage his feet. So I went to the hospital. and went into the room, and I applied oil on his feet. You know, he was slightly tense, but I applied oil on his feet and was gently massaging his feet, gently massaging both feet. And I'm telling you, he slept, he fell asleep. And even when I am massaging clients, and if they are tense, if they're a little nervous, sometimes I start with the feet, and they're falling asleep. Rubbing the feet gently is absolutely amazing. Massaging someone who has difficulty sleeping, absolutely amazing, especially if you can massage their head. If you can massage their head and their shoulders, just this, if you can massage them like that, they will be falling asleep. There are also some herbs. Some of this I think I mentioned in presentation 1. The following herbs are very effective in producing sleep. You've got lady's slipper, you have valerian, you have catnip, you have skullcap, you have hops. Use a teaspoon of any of the above, steep it in a cup of boiling water for at least 20 minutes and drink it hot. These herbs will not only produce sleep, but they have many other good qualities, such as they turn up the stomach and nerves without even leaving any bad side effects or after effects. And they act as a tonic to the entire system. If you do not have herbs at hand, either hot sour lemonade or grapefruit juice may be tried. You could try that. And a cup of warm soybean milk is also sometimes very, very helpful. This reading here, I'd like to leave you with a couple of them. A wrong course of eating or drinking destroys health, and with it, the sweetness of life. Oh, how many times have you purchased what you called a good meal at the expense of a fevered system, loss of appetite, and loss of sleep? Inability to enjoy food, a sleepless night, hours of suffering, all for a meal in which taste was gratified. The God who gives his beloved sleep has furnished them also suitable food to sustain the physical system in a healthy condition. And the last two I want to leave you with, it is vain for you to rise up early, to sit up late, to eat the bread of sorrows, for so he giveth his beloved sleep. When thou liest, not be afraid. Yea, thou shalt lie down, and thy sleep shall be sweet. Do not punish yourself. Do not torture yourself. Try to see sleep. Try to see sleep as medicine. Sleep as is important to your body as air is to the lungs.
Thank you. Thank you, Mama J, for that presentation. Thank you for your part 2 and looking at the science of sleep and why it's important, and how the army is using some of the health laws.
That
what we exactly talk about.
We actually see sleep. We see sleep as an irritant. Oh gosh, it's nearly time for bed. I think I'll stay up another couple of hours. Why would we do that to ourselves? When the army, for goodness sakes, is making sure they're calling sleep a secret weapon. They are using it to strengthen themselves to fight their enemies. You understand what I'm saying? And we see sleep as an irritant. It's not that important. It is so vitally important. The scientists, as you saw in the video that I gave earlier on in the program, the scientists have said that you can go without food longer than you can go without sleep. And even today, sleep deprivation is being used in torture. Because this is on YouTube, I can't mention the name, and it's somewhere in the East. But Christians are being tortured with sleep deprivation. And also the recent guy in Russia, not mentioning no names, and he has complained just on Friday, hot off the press, he is not allowed to sleep. Or if he tries to sleep, falls asleep, every hour they're waking him up. He says it's torture. So whilst people are calling it torture, not being able to sleep, we are not seeing it as anything. We are torturing ourselves when we keep ourselves from sleeping, in effect.
It's very true. I know some people would rather study as well at nighttime, and because they say they'll probably put the kids to bed, everyone's gone to sleep, everyone is their relaxing time, and that's their time to study, and they'll stay up to all hours and so forth, where it's best to go to sleep and wake up early, hear the birds singing, and do your work where you're more alert and refreshed for the day.
Absolutely.
So you're depriving yourself from there. And I know someone that's told me that, and I says, well, the only thing you can do, what you have to do, because they're struggling with health problems, I says, you need to go to bed. But they don't want to go to bed because they says that's the time for them to have their peace and quiet. So I says, well, it's up to you. It's up to you what you want to do. I'm here to help, but you need to go to sleep. But if you don't want to go to sleep, when you're ready to go to sleep, I'm there to help you when you're ready to go to sleep on time. So yeah, sleep is very important.
And to husbands and wives, to the wives, if your husband wants to sleep and if you can't sleep, don't turn on the light and say, I can't sleep. Or you try to find something to do. Go into another room and read or do something. And equally, husbands to the wives, try to treat sleep as medicine and keep your home with an ambiance. It should be like heaven on earth. Keep it in such a way where yourselves and your children, anyone, can sleep and have a restful night's sleep. Don't disrupt the sleeping environment, and don't disrupt the hours of sleep. It's so important. You just don't want to wake up to a groggy wife or a groggy husband. Who wants to do that? You know, let everybody sleep and have a restful night's sleep. It's good for the body. You're far more alert. You're far more alert.
Definitely. We have a hand up, Janine.
Thanks, Shirley. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Lovely. Thanks for your presentation. There's a question in the chat a bit further up, and I didn't want us to miss it. It was a question about people that are retired that typically lose sleep or sleep less, probably around 3 to 4 hours. And I'm just wondering, Jane, is there something that happens either when you're retired or when you get older or when you're elder, which means that you do struggle to sleep for long periods of time? Because it's not, I do know a few people that suffer from that.
If you so I suppose when they say retire, they're at retirement age, so that means they're in the winter parts of their years rather than a young retiree. As we get older, the older we get is the less sleep our body may require, and that is due to changes in our hormone levels as well, our endocrine system. That's all. But like I said in one of my previous slides, if they have problems sleeping, so they can only sleep for 3 to 4 hours, it's always best to try to get naps in the day to make up for that. So if they can have short naps, that is equally as important. And I think I remember I mentioned my mother. My mum is 88 this year, by God's grace. So she's going to be 88, but I know that she will always say she didn't sleep very well at night, but what she does, she takes naps in the day, naps in the daytime. So if they can find a quiet area of the house, pull a nice warm blanket over their knees, and if they can get a nice cushion, and they just lay back and just have a nap, just have a nice long nap, that will make up for the sleep that they lose at night. But unfortunately, as we get older, especially when we're in our senior years, you will naturally not have the desire to fall asleep as much as people who are out working working from home now and working 8-hour shifts. And so your body naturally is working, you are quite vigorous. And so you tend to feel tired enough to want to sleep, as opposed to those who are confined to their home.
What about if you are able to fall asleep, but you wake up in the middle of the night and then you struggle to get back to sleep? Is that a different issue?
that can be a different issue, but then you'll have to find out why you're struggling to fall asleep. What did you do before that? Is this a habit? And if it's a habit and you're finding that you really are struggling to sleep, in that you've tried other methods. So you may have tried some of the remedial methods that I've just shown in one of my slides. If you've tried that, if you've tried the herbs, if you're still doing that, then maybe it's something for you to discuss with someone. Why is it that I can only sleep and literally my cutoff point is 3 or 4 hours, but I really do want to continue sleeping, but I can't.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Janine, and thank you, Mama J, for the answer. Is there any other questions?
Shireen, I had seen one in the comments where someone was asking what happens when you have a little one. So usually when you have babies, your sleep pattern gets a bit messed up, and they were asking is it then possible to, when the child or children have grown a bit, to actually get back into a proper pattern of sleep? Can you retrain yourself to be able to get back into a proper pattern of sleep after you've had little children and probably inconsistent sleep for maybe, I don't know, the first 2-3 years of their lives?
Yeah, you can. You can, because I remember, sorry, Shirley, when Shirley was a baby, when Shirley slept, when Shirley would cry and stuff like that, and it's hard to, rock her to sleep. What's up, Shirley? When she fell asleep, I fell asleep. So what I did, I trained myself that when baby was sleeping, I made sure I slept for a good couple of hours or so. That was the only way I could do it, because you can actually literally go insane if you try to do everything and keep yourself awake while the baby is asleep. It makes no sense. So if the baby's sleeping, try to grab those naps while the baby is sleeping. That's the only thing I can recommend. And yes, you can retrain your sleep patterns when as the baby grows, because the baby, as they grow, will start to adapt to the routine sleep hours of the home. When babies are born, they have no idea about sleep time or anything, which is why they wake up in the middle of the night and everything, because their circadian rhythm, according to scientists, have not developed fully yet. But once they get older, they will get used to the sleep patterns of the home. But it's important that if you are a mother and if you have a baby, a young baby, newborn, when they are sleeping, try to grab your sleep then. It's the best way you can do it. Because otherwise it's just not going to work. It's actually impossible. You're going to tire yourself out. You become frustrated. You become tense. And so you sleep when the baby sleeps. It may sound difficult, but it's not, because you may have been up most of the night breastfeeding them anyway. Trying to breastfeed them if you breastfeed or feed them.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Mama J.
Yeah.
Thank you. Beverly, I see your hand is up. Please unmute. Beverly, can you hear me? I don't know. Okay, maybe Beverly can't hear. We can move. I see there's another hand up.
She unmuted, but then it went back onto mute.
Sorry, I was struggling with that. Thank you. I must say thank you for that presentation. It was just what I needed. Now, my question is, and a lot of it has been answered in a way, but I've worked for years, over 20 years, doing night shifts. And my regular time for my break then used to be 2 o'clock. So I find now, if I go to sleep, having been retired, if I go to sleep, I have no problems whatsoever going to sleep. I can catch what they call power nap, and I don't know if that's the same as micro nap. So I'll be sitting here and I feel tired, and I literally just put my head on the floor and I'm off for 5-10 minutes, and I wake up feeling good. But at night, I find myself sometimes like 2 o'clock around the house doing things that are not necessary. And so then I'll sleep and I'll get up again early, like at the 5 o'clock drug round, 5-6 o'clock drug round. And then I'll go through the entire day like I'm on a battery powered machine or something. And so for years, I think I'm very sleep deprived, because as I say, once I put my head down on the pillow, I'm off, I go to sleep. I mean, there are the odd nights when I'm up on thinking about things. So what, I know you said about the training, retraining of your patterns.
Yeah.
So what help is there for me?
When, you know, when you say you get up at 2 o'clock, what time do you normally go to bed?
Now I'm going to find myself going to bed. I try to go to bed by about 11, but sometimes up to 1 o'clock I'm still up.
Yeah, you're certainly not getting enough sleep. And you and are you saying you sleep at some point in the day, or you're not at all? It's only when you literally go to bed at 11.
I sleep, if I do sleep in the night, in the daytime, it's something like 10-15 minutes, but like in the warm weather, I've got an allotment and I'm there all day, and I come home and I eat and I'm tired and I don't go to sleep when the sleep is telling me to come, you know. So I need a shift, a paradigm shift in that area.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go into herbal supplements, but it's a public platform. But there is what the experts have said is that when someone is sleep deprived, they are normally missing some minerals.
Okay.
There are supplements, and one of them is definitely magnesium.
Okay.
And I don't know if you're taking that.
I am taking, I've just started taking the Well Woman set of tablets, but that's a general one. So maybe if I need an increase in the magnesium that's there.
I would say not the Well Woman per se. I mean, we've done the disclaimer at the beginning, so I'm not telling you what you can and cannot take. But what I can say is, you know, it is scientifically based that people who have trouble sleeping may need to start looking at some of the missing minerals. And definitely, if you do that, you'll find that your body may react to sleep differently. So I would look into having more magnesium in your dietary regime.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will try.
And I know that you say try to get some naps in the daytime. So, you know, try to black out the curtains. You could try some of the things that I've mentioned in the remedial approaches to try to see if that will kind of initiate some sort of sleep for you, sleep and rest.
Thank you very much indeed.
Yeah, you're welcome, Beverly.
Thanks.
Thank you. I saw we also had a question asking, Letitia, I did see your hand, but just before you comment, we had a question which was asking whether or not someone can have too much sleep, and what is wrong with too much sleep.
It depends what too much sleep is, because if an adult should be sleeping between 7 to 8 hours, I would say 9 hours a night. What is actually too much sleep? They need to mention that. What is too much sleep? So are you going to bed at 9 o'clock at night, and then instead of 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So instead of waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, you're waking up at 11 o'clock in the morning. So what is too much sleep? That's really what I need to know. Because sleep is good, but you know, it's like everything, you know, don't overdo it. It's not good for you, because if you overdo sleep, then we're looking at another side of the, you know, we're looking at the other side of the spectrum. It makes you feel groggy, makes you feel sluggish, you know, it makes you feel as if you've got no energy. So it's interesting that 7 is the balance. 7 hours is the balance. So too much sleep, if you feel you're having too much sleep and you're able to function and you don't feel groggy, you don't feel lethargic, you don't feel tired, then that's fine. Maybe that's what your body needs. But I know that there are some people who just don't want to be in bed for far longer than they ought to be, because then it's like they're going into another cycle of sleep, and then they know they have to get up, and then all of a sudden it is counterproductive.
Can I just chip in here and say something?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, that could be a sign of something else. Too much sleep, fatigue, and illness. So
yes, it could be, which is why I'm saying that person who asked the question needs to find out how much is too much. You know,
and
are they going beyond the 7 to 8 or 9 hours?
Also, I just like to say as well that I don't know if you covered all of this before, anything, fatigue and stuff like that, because it's about insomnia. So I'm not sure if you covered that part. But illnesses, like there's an illness like fibromyalgia, lupus, what was the other one? Chronic fatigue syndrome.
Chronic fatigue syndrome. Absolutely.
I have fibromyalgia, so that's why I am speaking to that.
Yeah.
And it swings both ways. You can have insomnia, and the following weeks, or you can have fatigue for months, and then following that, you're an insomniac, and it's just swinging both ways.
Yeah.
But I'm not sort of like asking about help about that. I'm just saying where that person's asked the question.
Exactly.
It would be dependent on if they have any underlying illnesses.
Excellent. Thank you, Jean, and you're perfectly right. That is true. I mean, it's not unfortunate, but because it's a public platform and there are so many people on the platform, we can only cover so much when we're doing a topic. But fibromyalgia is an excellent one. It's one that we've covered before. Certainly, I've covered before on another platform, and more than happy for TTI to try to cover that again. But again, with fibromyalgia, that can be an underlying cause, because it does say that insomniacs, more than likely have underlying health conditions that relates or causes their insomnia. And it's a way of looking at how we can better improve the condition for them.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you.
Loretta, I don't know if you still had a question. Your hand was up earlier, but it's gone down. I just want to check if you're all right, or if you still want to come.
Yeah, good afternoon, everybody, or good evening, or good morning, where everybody is. But what I was going to ask about one. You mentioned about the vitamins anyway, and you recommended magnesium, which I'm going to look into. But I was thinking about exercise, because in the past, I should say, or what I tend to do from time to time, if I find it very hard to sleep, I tend to go out for a walk, and I know that's not, sometimes it's 10:30 at night because I'm absolutely tired, but my mind just going 10 to the dozen. So I go out for a walk, but then when I get back, my heart rate's not just a stroll, it's a walk that causes my heart to,
So you've exerted yourself when you go out for a walk?
Yeah, sorry.
And then what are the after effects after you've gone out for a walk, when you've gone out for the exercise?
I feel okay. I mean, the thing is, I feel okay myself, but I feel more energized as I want to get the Hoover out and do some work. But yeah, I was just thinking, I don't know if it's a good thing. I've tried like doing a bit of meditation as well, and even a bit of yoga, just to get myself,
Yeah, there are some people when they can't sleep in the evening. So it has been said, and I did actually read this, and even for some of us who look at the pen of inspiration, the author does recommend that we go out for a walk, and it makes the sleep sweet after you've done that, because it's the fresh air. So the fresh air is like medicine to the lungs and the body, and it starts to induce sleep. But I suppose it affects people in different ways. But I do know that person says your sleep is sweeter when you've gone for a walk and you've breathed in the fresh air. It helps you to retire far better.
Yeah, maybe I need to resort to walking and probably not jogging then.
No, don't. Because you start to release certain hormones when you're jogging and exercising. Adrenaline. You don't want adrenaline if you're trying to sleep. So I would suggest, Loretta, rather than jogging and exercising and doing something quite exertive, I would try just walking, simple walking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. We had a question on the YouTube chat about whether elevating your bed assists you to be able to sleep well. Does elevating one's bed help give them good sleep?
I think it's the part where your head lies. If you can put that at an angle, a slight angle, you'll find that you sleep better. And I got this off one of the presentations that TTI did months ago. I think it was Shirlene, Dr. Louisa, and Marie who did that presentation. So if people go back into that presentation, they'll find some tactics, simple tactics that you can use, you know, with your bed. Now, if they're saying elevating the bed, your feet is elevated and your head down, I'm not sure about that. But I do know if you can put your pillows at a certain angle, and that is good for sleep.
Yes, that was on the immune system one. I think it was on our YouTube channel.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. But I also mentioned rocking. If you can, I don't know if there are beds that are made that rocks, but I do know chairs. And that scientific study that I mentioned in the slides, how many of us have been on a long journey? And you may not be the driver. So you may be, you know, I've been on the National Express coaches when I used to have to travel to London for work. And, you know, you have that lovely temperature on the coach. And then it's the rocking motion of the coach. And you can't help but fall asleep. How many of us have done that? So there has to be something about the gentle rocking mechanism that causes someone to sleep. You know, if you've got a child that won't sleep, that's always crying, you literally wrap them up, put them in their car seat, and you go for a drive so that you can get them to sleep. There has to be something about that gentle motion that exists, and it's a proven study. So, you know, maybe investing in a cheap or one of these, what do they call them, freebies, rocking, and see if it improves.
Thank you. Thank you for that. There is another hand up. There's a hand up, sorry. There was two, but I see one. Linda?
Mkuza.
Mkuza. I know you're good at these names, Linda. Mkuza.
Please unmute.
Yes. I just wanted to ask about the technology. How many hours before sleep should we retire the technology?
Depends on what time you're going to bed. So if you want to start, because as I said in the presentation, you have to start preparing yourself to go to sleep. So if you go to sleep at least at 9 o'clock, you know, I mean, I'm saying an hour before you go to sleep.
All right.
That's what I'm saying. But try, yeah. Also, when you have young children, when you have young babies, young children, it's advised that you don't introduce them to technology or television before the age of 3 years old. Because of their brain.
Okay, thank you.
Their brain development. It's not as mature yet.
There's another hand. I think Dion.
Yeah, hi.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. I was just contemplating about the rocking bed thing, and I was thinking, you know, they do these massage mats. Maybe you could put that under your sheet and put it on a gentle massage. That might help you to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just trying to
look at your face.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out. So I don't know, because then you're sleeping on top of electricity.
Oh yeah, there's that, isn't there?
I don't want
bummer.
I don't want you to Yeah, we are. We're here for the internet. Bye. Sorry, that's the pastor. I want to know, make sure we're not lost. We say we're here for the internet. Yeah, so it's the electricity. And I know that what they say about the sleeping blankets, you're not supposed to sleep with the sleeping blanket on because of the radio waves from it, or the waves from the electricity. So I'm thinking about the massage, the same thing.
Maybe they have ones that turn themselves off.
Yeah, there are
so
ones that can turn it. Yeah, there are ones that can turn itself off. So you know,
set it and then it turns itself off after a period of time, and then
you can time it. You can. I know someone who has a mat, and what they do, they put it on a timer, and it comes off. So they may only have it maybe an hour into their sleep, if you understand.
Yeah. I just thought of that. Yes.
Well, thank you for your question, Dion.
No problem.
Yeah.
There was another question with regards to the massage oil that you use for the feet. They wanted to know if there's a particular oil that you can use when you're massaging one's feet in order to help them sleep.
You can just use a regular oil. There are massage oils, and Shirlene and Sharon are more of the experts on that in terms of what can put you to sleep. But in the one I used, it was just regular lavender oil with a base oil. So if the base oil might be olive oil, sesame seed, almond, but as long as you use a base oil on the feet, then that will be fine. It doesn't even have to be an essential oil. It can be just olive oil. It can be sesame seed oil. You can any oil that at least will allow you to be able to rub the feet, because you don't need a lot on the feet. It's helpful. But I have to say that when you're massaging someone's feet, it's just an amazing feeling. You could even massage your own feet. You know, you grab your feet and start massaging it. For some reason, once you start massaging someone's feet, it affects the whole body. It really does affect the whole body and the mind. Yeah.
Thank you. And there was a lady that mentioned, you mentioned regarding vitamins and minerals, and I wanted to say in regards to my husband, because he would get up when he wants to go to the toilet and then come back, put the bedside lamp on, read or do something at 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, what is wrong with you? But then I realized after a while it was insomnia. So sorry. So when he sorry, Jonathan. So when he I gave him a supplement. We're all part of the family. So when I gave him this supplement, is one of the supplements that we talk about every week on our classes, our essential oil classes. And now he can just literally sleep. And within those supplements, it has all the vitamins, all the minerals, the omegas, everything within it. And it's funny when you said magnesium deficiency or vitamins and mineral deficiency, because that's what it could be as well. That's what he was lacking in order for him not to sleep. So yeah.
Absolutely.
Sorry, Shirlene, what supplement is that?
What's the supplement?
What supplement? Yeah.
It's lifelong vitality.
Okay.
But the lifelong vitality. So but those who are on the Telegram group or so forth, just contact me and then I'll sort it out.
You will find it has been proven that people who find difficulty in falling asleep, they need to start looking at their diet and whether they are absorbing the right nutrients that their body needs to be able to fall asleep. And remember, sleep starts from the endocrine system. So if your endocrine system is imbalanced, especially your sleep hormone and the pineal gland, you will find that you're going to have issues with regards to sleeping. Yeah.
And I saw in the talk that you gave mention, or I think it was in the video, mention of the fact that if you have a banana half an hour before you sleep, that could help as well.
Yeah, that's what it said, but I certainly haven't proven that, but I did say a fruit. So if someone finds that they are wanting to, or have a desire to want to eat, then I did say a fruit. I didn't say specific fruit. I'm not sure about banana, and if it has anything to do with the fact that it contains natural potassium. I'm not sure, but I did see in that video they said at least half an hour before you have a half a banana may aid in sleeping.
Okay, all right. And then there's a question as well as to whether, oh dear, sorry, now it's just gone up.
No.
I've lost it. All right, Shirley, don't know if you can take over. I've lost the question.
Let me have a look.
I found it. Sorry. Someone was asking, they were saying that with regards to the technology, they use their mobile phone to be able to set up an alarm to wake up in the morning. I know I do the same thing as well. Is that something that they shouldn't do and maybe find like those normal alarm clocks? Or you can, but
as
maybe
long as
just
it's not.
turn it over.
Yeah, exactly what you just said. As long as you're not using it and you're not sleeping with it, then that's fine. I know a lot of people they find it simpler now to use technology. When we were growing up, they had the clocks with the green numbers that glowed in the dark, and then you could set a proper alarm and it alarmed. And we've all moved away from that. You can actually, if you really don't want to have use technology, you can actually still purchase those alarm clocks with the red digits, because the red lighting is less harmful to your eyes than the blue light from the technology devices. But like I said, if they're using it to wake up in the morning, as long as it's not keeping them awake and they're not looking at it through the night, I can't see that there's a problem with that. Although I know that there are some people who say, don't be in the same room as your mobile when you're sleeping, and that's another show.
Thank you.
Thank you. There was another question. I don't know where that's gone now. I did answer one just now because it was the last one. Oh, Harris. Okay, so I don't know if everyone can see that in the chat, but in terms of husband and wife, does it help in terms of intercourse, help with sleep, even though it may cause you to go to bed later?
That is a question that I'm not versed on answering, but I do get what Horace is saying, because I do know that especially when we had a family live presentation, that was one of the questions and one of the points that was actually addressed in terms of husbands and wives, in a marriage, and if that can help. And yes, it can, but it doesn't make you sleep. It doesn't make you sleep later. I don't know. Horace, do you want to? I mean, Horace can give you his experience if he wants. Is he happy to? As to why that question was asked. I mean, no.
If you would like to.
Okay.
Well, it's in there, but yes.
I could.
I'll go on, Thomas.
Hi. I've always found that the science behind it. Obviously, the hormones are released in the body when that takes place. The body is just so relaxed. I sleep much deeper, and I always get worried because if I have work the next day, I may oversleep. So I like what Joan's saying about the timing of when you go to sleep. It's important. I think with all of these things, you must plan well, because obviously, if you plan, especially with your children, etc., you've got time for all of these things. But no, I think it definitely does give you a much deeper sleep. And we look at the science about what is released on the body. I think serotonin, not serotonin. It's got the name now.
Melatonin.
No. It's a happy hormone, basically.
Oh,
sorry.
Yeah.
Endorphin.
Yes. Yeah. So the body, so the body really relaxes.
Endorphin it is.
It's endorphin, yes.
One thing. I mean, now, you know, because something's just flashed back into my mind with what that question, and also what Thomas just said. I remember there are football managers that, when it was I mean, you may think that I'm a football advocate, and I'm certainly not. But I'm just looking at some of the history, the science, and I know that one of the managers always said to his players, do not have anything to do with your partner, with your wives before an important football match the next day. Hello?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I think I think the relevance is on one's energy level.
Yes. It's
exactly
down to that, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on.
I think that is all for the questions in the chat that I can see, unless I've missed anything.
Excellent.
I did answer this one regarding the lifelong vitality. If you do work nights, you'll have to do a swap, because when you do the lifelong, it's best to take it in the morning and afternoon, because if you take it before bed, you will not sleep because of the energy levels it gives you as well. So if you're doing night work, you might have to just swap it around, because you'll want to sleep in the morning and afternoon time before your night work in the evening.
And with night workers, it's far better to eat your biggest meal before you start your shift. Don't eat heavy meals during your night shift. It's better to eat your heavy meal before your night shift begins. Your heaviest meal should be before you start your night shift. So you're not eating heavy meals at night.
Can I just say something? Hi, sorry, I should have put my hands up. Sorry.
It's okay. No, it's okay, Carol. Go on.
Hi, yes. I was just saying, I actually put it in the chat. Maybe I didn't word it properly. Sorry. I was saying there's, in regards to a relaxation of a body massage, I was saying either your husband or wife, when they give you one, there's nothing like human hands give you a really relaxing massage that you really relax. Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was saying. Yeah.
It's very true, Carol. And it's unfortunate that a lot of people have been starved, literally starved, of the natural human touch. Because massage parlors have closed down, etc. And you're correct, Carol. There is nothing far better than the human touch. It's electrifying, and touch is healing as well. If you can get someone to massage you, you definitely feel a whole lot better, and you definitely will sleep a whole lot better.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol. Before there's any other questions, before we, because I can see the numbers are starting to go down, we just want to point you to the chat. If you're not a part of our TTI family on Telegram, the links are in the chat for the men, the spiritual and the women's groups. So can you, please, if you'd like to join us where we share knowledge and information on there, please join us by clicking on the link. Please ensure that you have downloaded Telegram so you're able to go straight to it. to the telegrams. In the week, we have our Bible studies on a Tuesday at 7, our essential oil classes on a Thursday, and then, of course, our Saturday show at 3 p.m. So please, the information is in the chat. Edgar posted it earlier and I reposted it just now. Okay. So please click on the links if you'd like to join our Telegram groups. And in this way, you'll get all the posters and information regarding the Bible studies as well, and the essential oil classes. And the TTI program on a Saturday. Thank you.
I've also posted the links in the chat for the YouTube guys as well. If you can just take that down, if you're watching on YouTube, if you can just take that down quickly before YouTube goes off being live, if you can just quickly jot it down, and then you can join the various groups in that way.
Oh, lovely. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, thank you. And next week, we will have Mayman Wilson on with us. And it will be on, if it's right, Edgar, on Alzheimer's, would be next week with Mayman Wilson. And he is, I think he's in America actually, at the moment. So yes, it will be with Mayman Wilson, and I think it's on Alzheimer's. He's actually going to be with us for about 3 weeks on our TTI program, and he has a wealth of knowledge when it comes to health. So please join us. Please come back for next week, where you'll hear Mayman Wilson. So I do see a question about breastfeeding at night. I think I mentioned this to quite a few people, even my husband, when it comes to sleep and how important it is. But then when you're up with baby or you're up breastfeeding at night, that's putting your sleeping pattern out of whack. But I think one of the answers was given that our bodies are well designed to be able to tackle that for the time being, and then to maybe catch up after. But what do you say, Mama Jay?
Yeah, I do. I do. I mean, breastfeeding, it is an important part of a baby's growth, and so it would be unfortunate to not breastfeed a baby because you find it difficult to sleep. But most young babies get up at night, and so, like I said before, you will find ways of getting your rest during the day. So if your baby is sleeping, you're sleeping. Now I'm talking as if you've only got one baby. Maybe you've got more than one child, but it's up to you to try to create a system whereby you can always catch up on your sleep. And at night, yes, you do have to wake up and feed the baby. I know that some women, what they do, they express milk. So they'll express the milk, and then the husband may get up and feed the baby. So they take it in turns. So I do know that some couples do that also, especially if the mother is very, very tired at night. They'll express their milk in the daytime, and then that milk is used to feed the baby, and it's the husband that feeds the baby. So the mother can get a bit of sleep. That's another way you can do it.
Yes, this is true. Thank you. Thank you for the question. I'm not sure who asked that question, but thank you for the question and thank you for the answer. And I can see there's one regarding high blood pressure that Edgar has answered as well, which is on our YouTube channel. Yes, on our YouTube channel, True Temperance International. So please go onto our YouTube channel where Lucy, I think she's on as well, was talking about high blood pressure. So I'm not sure there's any more questions, but
me again,
if not, say it again, Sharon.
I said it's me again, Edgar Wallace.
Oh,
I was just let people know if it definitely is worth watching that video, the hypertension one. It blew my, well, I wouldn't say it blew my mind away, but it was brilliant. It's so good. But the tonic that we promoted, or that Lucille suggested, was to have the juice of a beetroot, celery stick, and tomato. Juice that, and then add it to a blender with 3 cloves of garlic. Blend that up and knock it, well, no, and drink it. Some would like the taste. I didn't. So what I did was I added a little bit of water to blend the garlic first, just to make sure that I didn't have lumps of garlic, because my blender's not as good as the really powerful ones. So I blended some of the garlic up first, not some of the 3 cloves, with water. And that kind of water kind of dampened the taste of the tonic. And it made it that little bit easier to drink. But that's me, you know, don't mind me. I'm a bit of a wimp when it comes to certain medicines, but I take them anyway, regardless of how much I don't like the taste. So yeah, so that was good to have in the mornings, again, before you go about your regular tasks. And you have to drink your water. You have to drink the water, because blood pressure, you know, and the water, you really need that. And exercise, you have to take your exercise. Yes, we can put the tonic in the chat.
Yeah.
Quantities, it's up to you. You just need a glass of that, no more than I could not take more than a glass, possibly a small glass for me. But yeah, and praise the Lord, I'm getting results.
Good.
Oh, great stuff. Thank you,
Only
Sharon.
though, that's only though if you do have high blood pressure. If you've got low blood pressure, stay away from it, because it will bring it down. And also there are other reasons why if you're on blood thinning tablets, blood thinning medication, again, you need to seek assistance from your doctor. And if you are on blood pressure tablets, again, seek assistance from your doctor. We're not telling anybody to throw away your tablets. We're just saying this is advice, it's for information. If you're not on tablets, then by all means have a go, challenge. Yeah. And if there's anything in the ingredients that is not, you know, affects you, then obviously don't have it.
Thank you, Sharon.
You're welcome.
Thank you for that.
Sorry. I can, for the YouTube users, I'm trying to find out where else we can put up the Telegram details. They say that they can't see the, because I've typed out what the link is, but they say they can't see it, but they can see everything else I'm posting, and I'm not sure why, because I can see it when I post it up, but they say they can't see it. So I'm not sure where else we could put up the details for the Telegram group.
Is there any way that you could screen share it, because they can screen, well, if they're on a phone, they can screenshot it. I'm sure you can screenshot on a computer as well.
You
If
mean
you could
like put it up on
screen
the
share it, like
presentation
put it up on the
Zoom?
screen.
I don't know, Edgar,
Yeah,
can you
like
help us with that?
Let me see.
Good idea.
Because then they
Thank
can
you so much,
screenshot it.
Steve. That's a good idea, because I'm not sure how else to do it.
Are they actually in the comments? Have they clicked in the comments section of YouTube? Because
Yes, so I've been typing it out in the comment section in YouTube. So they say that they can see any other comment I'm making, except the one that gives them what the link is. Because I know that it's here live, but I thought that if they could be able to copy it down. I beg your pardon? Okay, all right. We'll try to do it on the screen. If someone in the team can help me with that, because my husband was just saying maybe because as a safety feature for the live chats, maybe YouTube doesn't allow hyperlinks. So maybe that's why they can't see it. So if someone can help me put it up on the screen, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Also, Linda, could this be added to the website so people can go to the website and join from there?
Okay, if it can be added to the website, then that's another place.
Yeah, it's not definitely not there. How much to do on the? Let me see if I can. So, whilst we wait, I'm not sure who is able to put it on the screen for us so that we can screen share it. So it's definitely not there from Linda, but I can't see no link for YouTube. So I was waiting for YouTube. We don't want to click you off the YouTube without you getting the link. But is there any more questions or information that people want to share whilst we're just trying to sort out the YouTube?
I don't see any other questions at the moment.
Spiritual health group, the Bible studies, and the essential oils classes.
Yes. So with the Bible studies, we do that on a Tuesday at 7, and then the essential oil classes is on a Thursday it was at 6, but we're looking to change it to 7. Not next week, it's probably the week after. It'll be around 7 o'clock, which will be around the essential oils. So it would be nice to see some of you that's speaking on here or that we see the names of to come on, and we're nice to see you on there and to speak with you on there as well. Jean?
Yeah, I was going to say regarding this link, the videos are available for viewing after today, aren't they, on YouTube?
Yes.
So I believe that whoever channel it is, I think you can go in and put a like a link, you know, after you can go and add a link on that your YouTube page or whatever YouTube channel under the video. You can put in a link. You can add a
Okay,
link
I understand. Yes.
after it's come off of live. I mean, you can go in and add that in. So whoever it is that's on YouTube can go back and view it and get the link from there.
Get the link. Yes, I understand.
Yeah.
So what we could do, Linda, for our YouTube audience, our YouTube family, what we could do is say goodbye and so forth. And then once it's off live, then put in the hyperlinks for the male and females in the spiritual group. And hopefully they'll be able to get the hyperlink. Oh, that was quick.
Sorry, I've just tried to take a screenshot. I don't know if that appears.
It does. I can see it.
Yes.
Okay, then if our audience on YouTube can just take a screenshot of that while it appears. I'm not seeing it on my side on YouTube yet, so maybe we can just keep it on for a bit until someone can let me know on YouTube whether they can see it.
As an alternative suggestion, which might work, I don't know, could you try the About, which just gives you information about the channel? So it's
that's a good idea.
So then it's permanent. So you just need to change it once. It would just be a global change. You wouldn't have to put it in for each video.
Okay, so
that's if it accepts a hyperlink, that might be a good place to put it, because then it's just once.
We can see it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can
Thank
see
you.
it.
Okay, thank you. All right, if you can see it, then I can at least take it down, because then you can always go back to it to try and view it.
Oh, lovely. Well, that's
Okay.
good. We can see it, so that's good. And they're saying yes, they can see it, which is good. And thank you to the ladies that were giving us suggestions, and we'll look into that so we don't have to keep posting it for every session regarding YouTube. So we'll look at that regarding the About page and even putting it on the website to get the links for our Telegram groups. So I don't think there's any more questions. Don't see any in the chat and no hands up. So this will be the time where we will.
Charlene, beg your pardon.
Thank you.
Yeah, we could just put also the links on the descriptions of our YouTubes as well, because while they're watching live, people could just click through.
On the description. Oh, you're the expert, Q.
Our YouTube videos.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, we got the little space where we can write about the video at the bottom. We could just put the links in there.
Yes, I understand what you're talking. Yes,
Yeah,
good idea.
that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. And on your on the actual, yeah, I probably said it wrong, but that's what I meant.
Yeah.
On the description bit.
I think. Yeah.
Thank you, Jean and Q. Thank you. So this will be the time where we say farewell to our TTI family. Those who's been with us from beginning, come in from the middle, come in just now as new. We thank you for joining us and being a part of our TTI family. And those who are on YouTube,
before you go on.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm sorry. We're coming off of Zoom now. I just wanted to say something. There's somebody on this chat on this Zoom chat with my name, so I just wanted to say hi to my namesake. There's somebody else with the exact same.
Hi, namesake.
There's a Jean Hamilton.
Okay. Okay. So the other Jean,
I'm just saying hi to them.
The other Jean, Dion, we can hear you sat nav.
So we just found her and muted her. Dion.
I'm just saying hi, and I'm just asking, are they in the UK, or if they don't want to say anything, that's fine as well.
Okay, well, if you just hold on, Jean. If you just hold on 1 minute, we're going to do a meet and greet on Zoom shortly. We're just going to say goodbye to the YouTubers.
Okay, that's all right then.
Yeah. So we're going to do a high-end greet session shortly, but we're just going to say thank you to the YouTube viewers. Thank you for joining us as always. And those who are new, please continue to join us as we continue to share and gain more knowledge when it comes to health. So we look forward to even speaking to you on our chat on YouTube for next week. And have whatever time it is, have a great day, a blessed evening, wherever you